Hello everybody, I'm Manny and welcome back to my guided playthrough. It has been some times since I last played this character, so just give me a second to figure out where we left off. Okay, yes. Usually when I'm not sure where to continue, I'm just looking at the waypoint and look where my next quest goes to, because I personally like to do all the quests while in the campaign. And I think we just defeated Brutus. And now we can continue. Yes. The way that I tend to go through the campaign is I usually just hold down my left mouse key, my left mouse button. So I always walk, and from time to time I will just press R to summon raging spirits. So you don't always have to click for each movement individually. You can just hold the mouse button down. And last time we just got our melee splash support, but I haven't showcased it yet. Maybe we can get a few monsters side by side. I will just summon one, and if you look at the health bar, you can see that even one raging spirits damages multiple enemies at once when they are close together. If they are standing apart, then it doesn't work, because melee splash has a limited range. And something else that you can see here, when these enemies die, they leave these flames on the ground. And if I step into it, you can see my energy shield goes down. That's because I'm taking damage. This is burning ground. And there are some enemies in the game, well, actually quite a few, that have on-death effects. So when they die, they leave something behind that will try to kill you or just damage you. In the beginning, you will be introduced to this mechanic, like here with some burning ground, that is not as deadly. I have to say that this character has some life regeneration already. I think we got some items. Yes, here life regeneration. Okay, I think it's just the belt, just the amulet, but this already helps. So the burning ground isn't as dangerous in the beginning. Later on in the game, the damage of the burning grounds effects, or in general on death effects, will be much higher and therefore will be a greater challenge. And I think here is a good thing, a good time to switch to a loot filter. In Path of Exile, you can see that here I can see the items lying on the ground, and Path of Exile gives you the possibility to customize how these items are displayed. Right now you can see these items look almost the same. You can see the colors of the sockets that the item has. If you look closely, you can see this little dash between the blue and the green. That means these two are linked, but the third one, the red one, doesn't have it, so it's not linked. But we would like to highlight specific items that are more valuable to us. For example, if this was a 3-link, so all 3 sockets would be linked and it would be red, blue, green, then we can sell it for for a chromatic orb. And in the beginning, that would be very useful for us. So we would like to highlight these items. And the way you do this is, if you go to the option menu and in the game section, there is an item filter. And here you can select an item filter if you have already downloaded or created one. There are many different ways how you can do it. You could even link your account to an external site, but I personally have not done this. I have no experience with this. So I will just show you the way I personally do it. Just so you know, there are other ways as well. But because I'm not familiar with them, I will not explain them. So the way I personally always do it, let me just switch to my browser real quick. There is this page. This is www.filterblade.xyz. I will leave the link in the comments. And this site offers you a lot of options. You can customize your loot filter here and play around a lot. But for this very basic beginner tutorial, I will only show you how to download the file and use it. Because in the beginning, that's more than enough. I will just go to Save and Export. Then I will click Continue without saving. And this gives me the option to download all strictnesses as a zip file. I will just do this. Then it will generate the files right here and will show me a download menu where I can save the file. I will not save it because I have already downloaded it before. So in this case I will cancel it. But now I will switch to my Explorer. So after I have downloaded the zip, I have this file right here. Then I can just right click, unpack it here. This is in my downloads folder now. And I will get these 7 files right here. These are different strictnesses because early on in the game you would like to see more items because many items are useful to you in the beginning, but later on when you are very late in the game, then you will want to hide almost everything, and these are the stricter ones that can be used for this. I personally always rename the files, but you don't have to do this. I just want to have a little bit of a shorter name, so I remove the filter blade. I keep the number in front, so I have the sorting always in the same way. So my soft filter that shows me everything is the 0, then the regular that hides a little bit of things is the 1, and so on. When you have these files, you can just copy all these files, and then in your documents folder, under My Games, Path of Exile, you can just paste them in. I have already done this. These are the loot filters that I have downloaded already. And now let me switch back to Path of Exile. In my options menu, if I go to the item filter and press the down and I open the drop down, I will have my item filters here to select them. And in the beginning, I usually just start out with regular or semi-strict. And later on in the game, when I see a lot of items that I don't want to see anymore because I have no use for them anymore, then I can just increase the strictness. But for this tutorial, I will only use the regular loot filter just so I can see a few items. And now that I have saved it, you can see this one item here got hidden already, and this one changed the appearance. I will just switch back once more. With no loot filter, you can see this item and this in a very simple text. And when I change back to regular, you can see it is highlighted a little bit more and the other one is hidden. Now we'll save it and close it. The reason why this item here is highlighted in the beginning is because it has 3 linked sockets. And in the beginning, the links are very important, so we can support our main skill that we are using or other skills with useful support skills, useful support gems. Okay, this is just so you have seen loot filters, and for me they are very helpful. I honestly can't imagine playing the game without the loot filter anymore. Later on, but this is more advanced, you could even customize your loot filter if you want, but for this tutorial the basic ones are more than enough. You can also see here, this one is one of the currency items. This is highlighted a little bit better now. And this is a unique enemy. One thing that can be very helpful when fighting stronger enemies is just running in a circle around them. It does not work all the time, but many encounters get much easier with this. Then these boots I will pick up, because like I stated before, the magic boots or maybe even rare boots can roll increased movement speed, and I would like some of these. Okay, here's the way to the next area. And we have the new waypoint. If I forget to explain anything that you would like to know, then please let me know in the comments. Especially now that I haven't played this character in some days, I may not think about some things. Okay, this is a little bit tougher enemy. One thing, you would not have to kill every enemy that you see. I just want to kill this one. But usually you could also just run away. And here I'm looking for an NPC, because I know in this area I can get a quest from an NPC. Oh. Okay. I forgot that I'm playing hardcore for a minute. And I also forgot to summon my zombies. So I didn't want to start over. So I just restarted the game. But now my OBS, okay, now it's showing the game again. Sorry for that. But I didn't want to risk dying here. So let's go back to the... Okay, here you can see this quest, the way forward, would actually send me to Prisoner's Gate. I personally have already played this game so many times that I do know where I have to go. But in theory, in the Prisoner's Gate, you would find an NPC that then flees to another area and blocks the way for you. And then you would get the quest update that you have to go to this area and continue your way here. But because I already know where to go, I will just continue from here. And here you can see there are already items lying here. That's because the instance is still active from before I logged out. So it didn't reset the area. Okay, that's the NPC I was looking for. It just gives me a quest. I would not have to go to this NPC, but I just like to know where he is. And the quest that he just gave me is that I have to look for the, I think it's called Afterflame, and it's in a shipwreck in this area. Okay, and these enemies, if you look at the text below them, fire and ignite resistance, so they take less damage from my minions, well, from my raging spirits, because these are doing fire damage. Okay, I think that's a little bit of an upgrade, is it? Yes, 17, the old one 11. And these enemies here have another on-death effect. If I go over here, you can see I'm moving very slowly. And this is the hard ground effect that I'm receiving. This one. Okay, here's the way down that I need. But like in an area before, I already know that there is another area that has a waypoint immediately after you go to the new zone. So I will just leave my town portal here, and now I will look for the next area. Okay, extra life and fire resistant. No, thank you. I will just try to speed it up a little bit here. Mostly because we have already spent so many hours here. But if you play this game for yourself, don't let anybody hurry you. Just try to enjoy the game the way you like it. Because that's why we play games, right? We want to have a fun time. But nowadays, I think that many people always try to do the best thing or the fastest way to go through a game, and you don't need to follow a speedrunner guide how you can complete the campaign within the shortest time possible. Just play the way you want, and if you want to take it slow, then take it slow. In Path of Exile, this can even be beneficial, because if you go through the campaign very fast and don't pick up any items, you don't kill many enemies, and just try to get it done, then usually your level will be a little bit lower because you have less kills. And also you won't have as many items. Okay, I have to admit now, because I'm talking, on one hand I'm thinking about what I want to say, but on the other hand I want to do some things in the game, and I completely lost my train of thought. I have no idea anymore where I am in the campaign. I honestly can't remember if I took a waypoint. Oh yes, I was in the... Yes, okay. I was in town. I can remember now. Do you know that feeling when you think about something and do something else? So you get distracted and then you're not quite sure anymore what you just did 1 second ago. Maybe I'm just getting old. Okay, here we got a unique item drop. I will just take it, even though that I already know what item this is and I know that I don't need it. Okay, and if I look at my minimap, you can see if Fairgraves was down here. I think there is the waypoint and I don't feel like running, so I just go to town and take the waypoint to the ship graveyard. So my town portal would be up here and I just teleported down here. So I don't have to run that far, and my flasks are also refilled because I visited the town. Now I hand in the quest. He summons some skeletons that will attack me, and he will also attack me after some time. My mana regen is a little bit low, so I will level my clarity a little bit more. Okay. Okay, no movement speed, and these ones as well, no movement speed. These have life, lightning resistance. I would like some cold resistance. I think we dropped the ring before, but I didn't take it, and I also didn't look what it was. But there are some, in the beginning, well, throughout the game there can also drop rings that have an implicit resistance, like fire resistance, lightning or cold, and later on also chaos and some others. But in the beginning, because I already know what enemies are ahead of us, I would like a little bit of cold resistance. Okay, here we are taking Flash Offering. Okay, we can... Usually I would keep unique items, but in this case I will just sell it because I'm not playing hardcore usually, so I don't need it. Okay. I think in one of the previous videos I said that we didn't have an offering skill yet, and I will explain it once we get one. Now we have one. There are different kind of offerings in the game, and right now I got Flash Offering. What this spell does is when I consume, well, when I cast this spell, the spell will consume some corpses, and based on the number of the corpses consumed, the duration... Okay, let me take one step back. When I cast this spell, I will get a buff. This buff has a specific duration. The base duration is 5 seconds, and for each corpse this spell has consumed when casting, the duration will be increased. So it will just last longer, the buff that I get. And in this case, the buff will grant my minions increased movement speed, cast speed, and attack speed. And this is a very nice damage boost early on. Although it needs corpses, so at the moment it is still situational. I cannot cast it all the time, but later on I think I should already have it actually. Let me just check. I can't remember when I get this spell, but there is a spell called Desecrate, and the spell summons corpses that can be used for the offering then. But I don't think that I have it here already. I think I could use Unearth. Yes, this would create a Bone Archer corpse. I've never used Unearth, so... Okay, and I don't have a green socket, so never mind. I will just wait. Okay. Now the Siren's Cadence. Let me check. Maybe she sells some rings. Cold resist. Yes. I will just buy this ring for 3 Scrolls of Wisdom. I'm pretty sure that there may have already been a Sapphire ring drop, but I didn't look at it and didn't pick it up. So I will just buy one. And if I check my defenses, 46 cold resistance, that's okay for me. Now I go back to the cavern and continue. Well, first, let me spend some skill points. We were on our way right here, so some minion life, so they last longer. some minion life and regeneration for my minions and myself. So hopefully I don't have to resummon my zombies all the time. Then some minion attack speed and more minion attack speed. And here the last line also says that increases and reductions to minion attack speed also affects me. So when my minions attack faster, then I can also attack faster with this skill. This can be useful with some other skills if you use them, but in my particular way that I play the summoner, this one doesn't really help me. But if you want, you can try out some other things and maybe you can find a build that makes use of it. Okay, and now just let me cast the offering so I can show you. Okay, these actually don't leave corpses behind. Or do they? Okay, yes. Now you can see the corpses exploded. I get this icon above my head. So I don't actually get a buff because the offering is affecting my minions. But as long as I have this icon above my head, my minions will attack faster. And let's check the movement speed. Okay, you can't actually see it. It's only 20%, so it may not be as visible. Certain areas in the game also have specific layouts. And if you're very experienced or if you're interested in these kind of things, then you could be able to learn some layouts. I personally never was interested in it, but right now you can see I'm just following. Well, I just try to keep on one side, but more experienced players or players that are interested in the layouts of areas may know already the way to go, but I don't. Okay, here's the door. Just pick up the currency item. Okay, and here we have a stronger enemy, Merville. She casts these ice spears and this rain. I just move out of the area. And as you can see, my minions are also blocking some of the shots, which is very helpful. But now my zombies are dead. And I don't have any corpses to resummon them. Okay. Here you can see 1% life regeneration on my zombies with low life. It's not as helpful. The life regeneration is more for the regular monsters at this point, but not for the bosses. Now I use my offering skill as well to hopefully get in a little bit more damage. This spell right here, when she sprays out the water, what it is, does a bit more damage. And also these water columns, you should not stand in them, they do a lot of damage. A couple of leagues back, the beginning of the game was much easier, but GGG decided to make it harder. So sometimes I'm still not used to the new way, and I can get surprised at some point if I don't focus or if I'm distracted. So I always have to remind myself that for this playthrough I'm playing hardcore because I wanted a fresh start to show you everything from the beginning. And another thing about the loot filter, if I look at the overlay map, you can see here this little circle. This is for this currency item. The X right here is my character. If I move, you can see it moving. And if I pick up the item, then the circle is gone as well. That is because very valuable items that you always want to pick up usually have some very specific icons like a red star on the minimap and maybe even play a sound effect when they are dropping. So you also get an audio input, so you know, hey, they dropped something valuable and you should check it out. Okay, now we're in the new town. We are actually in Act 2 now. If I look at my map, you can see here this is Act 1. We went all through there and now we are in Act 2. And I just talk to all the NPCs to pick up the quests. If you're interested, you can listen to all these NPCs in your playthrough. I personally am not that interested in listening to them, so I will just continue. Then if you have an item, like this item for example, I really don't want to, I could sell it for a scroll fragment, but sometimes you don't want a scroll fragment either, and if you want to destroy an item, you can just, while in town, you can just try to drop it. Then you get the information that in town you cannot drop an item, and if you want you can destroy it instead. And then you have the option to keep it or destroy it. In this case I really don't want the ring anymore, so I just destroy it. And now there is something optional. When you start out the game and you have invested no money in the game whatsoever, then usually I think you have maybe 2 or 3 stash tabs in your stash. You can see the tabs right here. If I click on the second or third one, then I can switch to in between them. You don't need this. I think I played my first playthrough through all the campaign without any additional stash tabs. This is very optional. I just want to show you this because in the future I want to use my stash tabs because I'm used to them. So I want to have the comfort. But keep in mind, you don't need to spend the money on this. It's just if you want to, it's a little bit of quality of life that you can get. So I will just remove all the items that I have collected so far. And The way I did it, right here you have a shop icon. If you click it, you come to the in-game shop. And everything that you can buy here does not improve your character at all. It's either cosmetic or quality of life, like these stash tabs. And I go to the stash tabs right here, and there are different types of stash tabs that can be bought. And once more, don't feel obligated to buy anything, especially if you're just trying out the game and you don't know if you want to continue. You don't need to buy them. I personally bought them because I spend a lot of time in the game and I wanted the increased comfort. So I was just looking what I needed, bought them, and if you decide to buy anything here, keep also in mind that from time to time there are specific offers that reduce the price, and there are also bundles, and sometimes there are some stash tabs bundles that continue multiple different stash tabs. If you want to buy something like this, you just have to read very carefully what is included. For me, the first one that I really wanted was this one right here, and it's a currency stash tab. What you can do with stash tabs is, if you click on the tab on the top, you can drag and drop them in the position you want. Another option is, if you right click on the tab, then you can customize the layout a little bit. For me, currency is always blue. Then I think I always call it M for materials. You can specify a name. Then I personally play always solo self-found, so I cannot trade with other players. But if you play in a non-solo self-found league, you could set the stash tab to public, and then you, I think, could list the items contained in the stash tab on a trade site. If you're interested in this, then I would suggest that you look it up, because I have no experience with it. I just know there is a public option, so other players could be able to see it. I think you also have to make your profile public or something like this. But like I said, if you're interested, just look it up. So I set my name, I set my color, and here you can see an affinity. And you can toggle the currency affinity if I click this and confirm my changes right here. And now I switch to any other tab. And if I press my Control key and left click on one of these items to place it in the tab, usually it would go here. But now I have set the affinity for my currency items. So if I click on the alchemy shard, for example, it is not placed here, but instead it is placed here, because this shard is specified as currency. Let me check, maybe we can... Okay, doesn't have advanced tooltips. Okay, but can we see currency somewhere right here? No. Okay, then this is just something that you would have to know. But all these items right here, so these two columns, are all currency items. So if I shift left click, they will always go in this tab. Even if I switch to here and shift left click all of them and check my materials tab, then all the items are sorted right here. In this tab, they also have a higher stack size. I think the stack size is 5,000. If you would have it in one of the regular tabs, then the stack size of the tooltip, like here in the second line, stack size 4 out of 20. That means the Orb of Alteration have a maximum stack size of 20. So if I have 40, then I would also already have 2 slots used up. And with drag and drop, I can just move it. And if you go here, I think this is usually, yes, I think usually this should be the default view, that you don't have the bar on the right side. But if you click the arrow down here, then the bar opens. And if you hover over your tab that you want to move and you right click on it, then it's moved to the first position. So I'm used to a specific sort order that I usually keep or somewhat keep. Then these items right here, okay, these two are essences that have also a specific tab. And here I overlooked the alteration shards. These are also currency items. And for the essences, I have this right here. So once again, right click the tab. I always call it E for essence. And I actually can't remember the color. I think it's also blue. And here I can set the affinity for essence. So all my essences will be sorted right here. We'll just move it, and usually it's somewhere a little bit back. And once again, to show you, I'm currently at my materials tab, and shift left click the essences. They are not here, but they are sorted right here. And these tabs, some of these types have some specific functions, like the essences. You can upgrade essences. If you have 3 Whispering Essence of Greed, you could upgrade them to the essence 1 tier higher. And for essences, this usually means that you get a better affix from it. Like here, if you look at the Essence of Greed, the armor entry in the middle, you can see if I use this essence on an armor item, I get 5 to 14 to maximum life. And the higher the tier of the essence is, the higher this value will go. I think later on it's somewhat in the hundreds. I think like maybe 120 to life if you use it on a body armor. So the lower tier essences that you don't need, you can upgrade. In the beginning it's not really useful because you don't have that many essences during the campaign, and later on you will get usually the second, third or fourth tier of essences, and then you could just upgrade them to the first tier if you want. But this is, you always have to decide if that's useful to you or not. But I was jumping ahead of myself here. Now we can spend our next skill point, because I took a little bit of damage in the last couple of fights. I would like to increase my life a little bit, and also my mana regeneration is not that good. So I will take these 3 nodes right here next, because here I get some life and mana regeneration, life, mana regeneration, and once again, life and mana regeneration. And when I have taken the 3, then I unlock the life mastery. And one of the options you can see in the middle is plus 50 to maximum life. And that's also a nice boost in the beginning, especially if you look right here, I have under 300 life. So 50 more would be a pretty big chunk of extra life. Take it, apply. And I think that's it for this episode. In the next episode, we will continue questing in Act 2. I hope you have a good day and enjoy the game. Goodbye.